Welcome to another informative episode of the New England Job Show. Today we'll join Bob McIntosh on site as he presents one of his LinkedIn workshops at the Lowell, Massachusetts Career Center. Today, Bob will fill us in on the headline, update, experience, and additional information sections of your profile. Bob?
Now we get to the headline. The headline is a very, very important part of your profile. The headline is the text that employers and networkers are going to see. The headline should contain keywords. It should draw search engines to you. Okay, namely, I mean, when employers look for talent, they go to people search and then they type in a string of keywords. Your headline should contain as many of those as possible. Your headline should tell people who you are and what you do, and it should tell people about your strengths, about your strong skill areas. You're limited to 128 characters, though, so you really can't go crazy with this. One nice thing, though, is that once you have created your headline for LinkedIn, I really think you can use it on your resume. The difference being that the headline on your resume needs to be modified depending on the job for which you're applying. Okay? Yeah, you'll often see that the headlines of people is often their job title and where they work. Well, just because you're unemployed doesn't mean you shouldn't have a job title. Don't look at it as a current job title. Look at it more as really a description of who you are, what you're capable of, a part of your branding. Okay, so we're going to look at headlines, and I think you'll see the difference between them. So here is my headline at the top, and it's accurate. I'm a workshop facilitator. It has my location and the industry in which I work. But here's one I think is a little better. I call myself a career development trainer, a workshop designer, a mentor, program coordinator, writer. Actually, I'm a blogger. People say there's a difference. And a LinkedIn enthusiast. And I've changed that, by the way. So, this title here in the bottom, mine, I think describes me in more detail and is more likely to attract the elements that employers are looking for in their candidates. Another poll. What do people look at first? What is the first thing you look at on someone's LinkedIn profile? 41% said professional headline. Next, 31% said experience, followed by summary at 19%, and then at 1% groups. So you see where people's eyes go to, where their focus and concentration goes to first is at the headline. That's why it's very, very important to have a very good professional headline. And as I said, once you've developed this for your LinkedIn profile, you could have something similar to that on your resume. Now, the update box. How do we communicate with our first-degree contacts? You could send them an in-message, sure, okay, but you'd have to send an in-message to them individually. How do you communicate with all of your first-degree contacts? This is how you do it. Okay? This is your way of communicating with your first-degree contacts. You send them an update. Now, the nice thing is that if you're on Twitter, and I suggest that you get on Twitter. Are any of you on Twitter? No? Okay. If you're on Twitter, you can link your Twitter account with your LinkedIn account, and anything you update will be tweeted and vice versa. Okay? So, what type of information do you want to include in an update? Well, you want to let your contacts know what you've been up to. Perhaps you want to let them know that you're taking training, or you're taking classes, you're attending workshops, you're going to seminars, you're going to networking meetings, or maybe you've had an excellent interview and you'd like to share that. These are things that you could update. You're limited to 200 characters, though. Now, Twitter limits you to 140 characters. So what happens when you send an update that's over 140 characters, it gets cut off. So if you meant to tweet it as well, you could lose some valuable information. Here's an update I wrote this morning. Bob McIntosh welcomes the New England Job Show to the Career Center of Lowell. They're recording this session. Yeah. Okay, so that tells my contacts what's going on. Be careful, though, because if you do have your LinkedIn connected to your Twitter account, then if you tweet often, everything you tweet will be updated. And what could happen is that all your first-degree contacts could see all of your tweets and updates and get tired of seeing your face on their homepage. The experience box. And this causes some people concern because the experience box consists of your current experience and your past experience. And we noticed with Pat's snapshot, she only had her past experience. In order to reach 100% completion, LinkedIn requires that you have some current experience, which is not fair if you're unemployed, right? However, I saw a good way around this. You may decide to eliminate your current experience because you're no longer working at the company, okay? Or you may decide that if you are volunteering, to include that in your current experience. And that's perfectly justified. So what would be the downside of not having a 100% complete profile? Absolutely nothing. Okay? It should mean nothing to you, but you know what? When I first started and I was at 85% complete, I wanted to get at 90%, 95%, and it was that 5% that I was missing, which was my photo, that I couldn't bear. So I put my photo up there. Well, actually, I didn't do that. What I did is I put a photo of a soccer ball, which I thought represented me pretty well, and then LinkedIn took that down. Okay, so when you decide to put a photo on your LinkedIn profile, do you have someone just take a snapshot of you with the point and shoot, or do you have it done professionally? That's a great question. I suggest that you have it done professionally. Now, you can get it done at Walmart for fairly cheap, okay? They do a fairly good job. I had a customer once who volunteered to take photos of other job seekers, and he took them over at the boarding house park. Five people took advantage of that, and they came out very, very nicely. And you know what? I'll show you those people. I'll show you their profiles after this is concluded. But, yeah, to answer your question, have it done professionally, you know. I'll look into it. I'll see if I can get someone else to volunteer to take photos. If I do, if I'm successful in that, would any of you be interested? Okay, good. All right, good. I'll let you know through LinkedIn. Good. So, following would be education, and you should list it by the highest degree first. You may also include training. Okay, this gives, again, employers and networkers a quick snapshot of who you are, of whether they should read on. If they see you have no recommendations, they may not continue to read on. If they see that you have 25 contacts, they may not continue to read on. And then to follow it off, we have additional information, number of recommendations. Now that LinkedIn doesn't count recommendations towards 100% completion, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't strive to get some recommendations. There used to be a requirement of 3. I think 6 is a good number. Well, with education, they allow you to state the start date, and then they allow you to either give an end date or a hyphen. I would list that hyphen, and then I would, in the explanation box, say that you are anticipating completion in such and such a date, and then I would also list the important courses that you're taking, okay? Courses that might interest an employer. I saw one customer's profile where she listed my gosh, like 20 courses. But she was going through training, and these were all relevant. So. Now we get to the, and then the websites and the blog sites. Now, one great way to brand yourself is to blog. I told you earlier that I blog. I might not necessarily be proud of it, but I blog. In any case, it's gotten me some recognition. I've met people on LinkedIn, other bloggers. It's given opportunities for extra work. It's a good way to brand yourself. And having a website would be a great way to brand yourself. Okay. So this is where the links would be. And then we look at the LinkedIn URL, and you notice the one at the top has all these extra letters and a number behind them, behind my name, whereas the one at the bottom I have modified, and it looks a lot cleaner. I've seen on business cards and I've seen on resumes where people have not modified their URL. And what that indicates to an employer is that the person doesn't know the technology too well. Okay, so if you're going to list it on your business cards or your resume, then make sure that you have it modified. If you get busy on LinkedIn, then you get to know a lot of people. You don't know them personally. You know, LinkedIn is an online networking application. You're not going to personally meet a lot of the people that you connect with, but you'll have some kind of commonality with them.
You have to invite them to...
Not necessarily. You can invite them or they can invite you.
But one way or the other, that's what has to happen to become a connection.
That's right.
There has to be an invitation.
That's right. Let me go back. Do you have to invite people to be part of your network? No, they can invite you. Okay. Who you want to accept as connections is up to you, though. You know, do you want to keep it strictly the well-known people, or are you willing to accept anyone as a connection? So that is up to you to decide. Can you have too many recommendations? If you're familiar with the term LION, LinkedIn Open Networker, then it's not considered a great thing to just collect recommendations. I mean, these people have as much as 30,000 recommendations. That's right. So the question then would be, how can you possibly know all those people? You can't. They say that, well, it's creating more opportunity. You know? You never know. Maybe one of those 30,000 are going to come through for me. Well, I think it really matters, based on your situation. If you are looking for work or if you are conducting business, then it should be all business related. Okay? Even if you are looking for work, it can be somewhat off the beaten trail. I mean, okay, so you like vampire movies.
I really don't.
No, I know. I do, though. I like some. Yeah, I know. I like zombie movies, too. No, but let's say that you are into science fiction, and you know a lot about science fiction. I think that's a respectable topic to blog on. Okay. Better yet, let's say your occupation is project manager, and you're in the software business, okay? If you want to blog about, project management in the software industry, then that's a great thing to capture networkers and employers' attention, to show you as the expert. Okay? That's the idea. When you blog, you want to write good prose, and you want to come across as an expert in the field.
Thanks, Bob. Be sure to visit nejs.org for the other segments in Bob's series, as well as all of our latest job-seeking information. Bye for now.